southern Iran, 40 miles northeast of Bandar Abbas. 4:30 in the morning, 6 MH-60 Black Hawk helicopters raced across the flat desert terrain at treetop level, their rotors slicing through the pre-dawn darkness. Inside sat 130 U.S. Army Rangers from the 75th Ranger Regiment, faces painted in camouflage, weapons checked and ready. Their target was Iran's largest military drone production facility, a sprawling industrial complex responsible for manufacturing the Shahed and Mohajer series drones that had been striking American positions across the Middle East for months. Intelligence had identified this facility as the beating heart of Iran's drone warfare program. Satellite surveillance conducted over 8 weeks revealed a massive factory complex spanning 14 buildings across 200 acres. 3 primary assembly hangars produced an estimated 40 combat drones per week. Underground storage bunkers housed over 500 completed drones awaiting deployment. Adjacent buildings contained guidance system laboratories, engine testing facilities, and warhead assembly rooms. The facility was protected by 250 Iranian Revolutionary Guard soldiers organized into a dedicated security battalion. Guard positions ringed the perimeter fence with heavy machine gun emplacements every 150 meters. 2 armored personnel carriers patrolled the access roads at irregular intervals. An Iranian air defense battery equipped with Tor M1 surface-to-air missiles covered the airspace above the complex. The Iranians understood the value of this facility and had invested heavily in its protection. American intelligence had spent weeks preparing for this operation. Signals intercepts revealed guard shift changes occurred at 5 a.m., creating a 15-minute window of reduced alertness. Thermal satellite imagery mapped the exact positions of underground storage bunkers. CIA operatives on the ground had confirmed the locations of the 3 main assembly hangars and the air defense battery. Every detail had been studied and rehearsed. The assault plan divided the Rangers into 4 elements. Alpha Platoon with 40 Rangers would neutralize the air defense battery and secure the northern perimeter. Bravo Platoon with 35 Rangers would assault the 3 assembly hangars. Charlie Platoon with 35 Rangers would breach the underground storage bunkers and destroy the completed drones. Delta Platoon with 20 Rangers would secure the guidance laboratory and engine testing facility, capturing technical intelligence before demolition. At 4:45 a.m., the helicopters reached the landing zone 2 miles from the facility. Rangers fast roped into the desert in complete silence. If you stand with United States' finest soldiers, subscribe to Sonic's Darks and never miss a battle. The 6 Black Hawks immediately banked away and disappeared into the darkness, heading to a holding position 15 miles south. Squad leaders performed rapid head counts. All 130 Rangers were on the ground and moving within 90 seconds of arrival. Alpha Platoon advanced directly toward the Tor M1 air defense battery positioned on a low ridge 400 meters north of the main complex. Through night vision optics, the Rangers identified 2 launcher vehicles and a radar tracking unit manned by a crew of 12. 2 sniper teams positioned themselves on elevated ground 300 meters from the battery. The remaining Alpha Rangers circled to establish blocking positions on the northern access road. At precisely 4:58 a.m., 2 minutes before the guard shift change, Alpha Platoon initiated the assault. Both sniper teams fired simultaneously, eliminating the radar operators in the tracking vehicle. Before the remaining crew could react, Rangers launched 2 Javelin missiles at the launcher vehicles. Both Tor M1 launchers erupted in massive fireballs, their surface-to-air missiles cooking off in secondary explosions that lit up the desert sky. The explosions served as the signal for the entire assault force. Bravo Platoon surged toward the 3 assembly hangars from the east. Rangers used bolt cutters on the perimeter fence and poured through in 3 columns. Iranian sentries at the nearest guard post opened fire with AK-47 rifles, but suppressed M4 carbines dropped them within seconds. The element of surprise was total. Iranian defenders scrambled to respond. Alarm sirens activated across the complex. Floodlights snapped on, illuminating the factory grounds. Revolutionary Guard soldiers rushed from their barracks, many still pulling on equipment. Machine gun positions along the southern fence opened fire toward the approaching Rangers, tracer rounds streaming into the darkness. However, the Rangers had already bypassed those positions. Bravo Platoon reached the first assembly hangar at 5:04 a.m. Breaching charges blew the reinforced steel doors inward. Rangers stormed inside and found rows of partially assembled Shahed 136 drones stretching the length of the 300-meter building. Iranian workers and technicians fled toward emergency exits, while security personnel attempted to form a defensive line between the assembly stations. The firefight inside the hangar was intense but brief. Rangers moved methodically through the rows, clearing each section with precision. Simultaneously, Charlie Platoon located the entrance to the underground storage complex. The reinforced concrete doors required shaped charges to breach. The blast sent chunks of concrete flying across the access ramp. Rangers descended into the underground facility and discovered a massive cavern housing rack after rack of completed drones. Over 500 Shahed and Mohajer drones sat fueled and armed on storage racks stretching into the distance. Demolition teams immediately began placing thermite charges on the drone racks. At 5:15 a.m., Iranian reinforcements launched a counterattack. Approximately 80 Revolutionary Guard soldiers advanced from the southern barracks in a coordinated push toward the assembly hangars. They brought 2 DSHK heavy machine guns that hammered Ranger positions with 12.7mm rounds. The intensity of fire forced Bravo Platoon to take cover behind concrete blast walls between the hangars. Alpha Platoon, having secured the northern perimeter, repositioned to engage the counterattack from the flank. Rangers set up M240 machine guns on the elevated ridge where the air defense battery had stood. When the Iranian advance passed below their position, Alpha opened fire from an unexpected direction. The crossfire was devastating. Iranian soldiers caught between Bravo's frontal defense and Alpha's flanking fire suffered catastrophic casualties. Within 8 minutes, the counterattack collapsed. Over 50 Iranian soldiers lay dead across the open ground. Delta Platoon breached the guidance laboratory at 5:20 a.m. Inside, Iranian engineers had been attempting to destroy computer systems and technical documents. Rangers secured 4 engineers before they could complete the destruction. Hard drives containing drone guidance software, GPS spoofing algorithms, and targeting databases were pulled from servers and placed in protective cases. Blueprints for next-generation drone designs were photographed and collected. The intelligence haul was enormous. By 5:45 a.m., all 3 assembly hangars were secured and rigged for demolition. Rangers had destroyed manufacturing equipment, welding stations, and composite layup molds that could not be easily replaced. Partially assembled drones were smashed and burned. Engine testing dynamometers were wrecked with thermite grenades. The factory floor was unrecognizable. Underground, Charlie Platoon completed their demolition preparations. Thermite charges were placed on every 4th drone rack, with additional charges on fuel storage tanks lining the walls. The 500 completed drones, each worth an estimated $20,000, would be reduced to melted aluminum and burnt carbon fiber. The total value of equipment being destroyed exceeded $50 million. At 6:00 a.m., Iranian forces attempted a second counterattack, this time with an armored personnel carrier leading the advance. The APC's heavy machine gun raked Ranger positions near the eastern hangars. A Ranger anti-armor team responded with a Javelin missile that struck the vehicle directly on its turret. The APC erupted in flames, blocking the road and stopping the infantry advance behind it. Without armored support, the Iranian soldiers retreated under heavy fire. Extraction helicopters were called at 6:15 a.m. Rangers began consolidating their positions and preparing to depart. Wounded soldiers were moved to the designated landing zone. Captured intelligence materials were secured in waterproof containers. The 12 Iranian prisoners, including 4 engineers and 8 security officers, were prepared for transport. At 6:30 a.m., the 6 Blackhawks returned to the landing zone. Rangers loaded in reverse order of priority, with wounded and prisoners departing first. Charlie Platoon was last to leave, activating the demolition timers as they withdrew from the underground storage complex. Alpha Platoon maintained a defensive perimeter until the final helicopter was loaded. As the last Blackhawk lifted off at 6:45 a.m., the first demolition charges detonated. The 3 assembly hangars exploded in sequence, massive fireballs rising hundreds of feet into the dawn sky. Steel roof panels flew through the air like leaves. Secondary explosions rippled through stored materials and chemicals. 30 seconds later, the underground storage complex detonated. The ground above the bunkers heaved and cracked as 500 drones, their fuel loads, and stored warheads exploded simultaneously. A column of fire erupted from the bunker entrance, followed by thick black smoke that rose thousands of feet. The explosion registered on seismic monitors 60 miles away. The guidance laboratory and engine testing facility detonated last. Precision equipment worth millions of dollars was reduced to twisted metal and shattered glass. The blast collapsed the building's internal structure, ensuring nothing could be salvaged. By the time Iranian emergency responders reached the site, 14 buildings were burning uncontrollably. The Rangers were 20 miles away when the final explosions occurred. From the helicopter windows, they could see the massive smoke column rising from the destroyed facility against the orange dawn sky. The mission had lasted exactly 2 hours and 15 minutes from first shot to final extraction. The operation was a decisive success. All 500 completed drones and underground storage were destroyed. 3 assembly hangars capable of producing 40 drones per week were demolished beyond repair. Iran's drone production capability was reduced by an estimated 70% in a single operation. Iranian casualties totaled approximately 160 Revolutionary Guard soldiers killed, with an additional 45 wounded and 12 captured. The 2 failed counterattacks accounted for nearly half of all Iranian losses. The armored personnel carrier and both Tor M1 air defense launchers were destroyed. American casualties were 3 Rangers killed in action and 9 wounded. All wounded were evacuated successfully and transported to the U.S. military hospital in Bahrain. The 3 fallen Rangers were posthumously recommended for the Bronze Star with Valor for their actions during the hangar assault. Intelligence recovered from the facility proved invaluable. Hard drives revealed a network of 12 smaller drone assembly workshops across Iran, all of which were targeted by American airstrikes within 48 hours. Iranian drone attacks against American positions dropped by 80% within the first week. Without replacement aircraft, Iranian commanders were forced to conserve their remaining drone inventory. The assembly line that had produced hundreds of weapons capable of striking American forces had been silenced permanently. Iranian state media acknowledged the attack 2 days later, claiming the facility was a civilian agricultural equipment manufacturer. Satellite imagery released by the Pentagon showed the complete destruction of the site, with visible remains of military drone components scattered across the wreckage. The mountain of evidence left no doubt about the facility's true purpose: